What's up, Serie Addicts? Welcome to another episode. Here to give you the recap of Serie A Match Day 24. It's crazy, Tito, that we're already in Match Day 24. I feel
24,
this
bro.
season is flying by, or I'm just getting old, which
Yeah.
maybe a little bit of both. But yeah, Match Day 24th went down this weekend. We had
Yo. Hold
9
on.
matches.
Hold on. It's the 24th episode. Is that what we're saying?
It's the 24th
Damn,
episode.
bro. It's 24 episodes already. That went fast. And
24 years old.
also, I wanna send a shout out to all the subscribers. Everybody has been subscribing to the channel. We're like 8,400 or so now, which is awesome. We basically
Appreciate it. We're trying to get a little bit more engagement though, so people feel free to comment,
yeah,
right?
don't be
If
afraid
whatever
to
you like,
comment.
you don't like, right? We're not gonna take it personally here. We're all Serie
I'll
addicts.
take
We
it
love
personally.
football,
I'm gonna
right?
take it personally.
I value and appreciate every opinion. That doesn't mean that I'm gonna agree with you, but it's all about having the conversation, right, about the game and the league that we love to watch
Hey, if
on a
it
regular
doesn't have to be
basis.
disagreement, like you can just, yeah, like I agree with what you're
No. Yeah,
saying,
we have to
like,
disagree. We're gonna disagree
it
for
doesn't
sure.
have to be like you could be agreeable every once in a while. You know what I mean? Like just we're just telling it like we see it. You know what I mean from our perspective, and I know that some people appreciate that. So thank you for subscribing, and you know
And thank you
as I
for
usually
tuning
do,
in.
thank you for tuning in.
For on the 24th episode for recap of match day 24 in the Serie A. Again, only 9 matches over the weekend since Milan and Como didn't play, which was one of the marquee matchups for this match day. Obviously,
Yeah.
due to the Olympics taking place in Italy, right? They had to do some rescheduling, and that is going to be an interesting game to keep an eye on. Moving forward, definitely two teams that at least are in contention for European positions for sure, and Milan potentially for a Serie A title this season. Kicking things off with Donut, with Verona taking on Pisa.
Double donuts.
Starting off with a very non-entertaining match from a struggling Hellas Verona at the bottom of the Serie A table. Pisa, one of those teams which really their goal is to avoid relegation, right, and going down to Serie B. But I think as of now, I would bet more money on actually Verona being relegated than Pisa, even
Yeah.
though we may find ourselves in a situation where both teams get relegated.
Yeah. Hey, crazy stat about this game though. Verona had 60% possession, but zero shots on goal. Pisa had 40% possession and three shots on goal. But it's crazy that Verona had the ball for so long and couldn't really do anything with it. That's been their issue the entire
But
season.
that's weird because they had a free kick to in the first half, I believe, that struck the post.
Well,
So you say,
the post is not on goal. The post is
but that's on
just
target,
a
right?
bit
Is it?
outside. No,
It's
if
on.
it's not
Doesn't that
going
count
in,
on target? Okay.
no. If it only if it's going
Okay,
in.
but then how do you know if it's going in if like the keeper saves it?
Well, if the keeper saves it, it counts as a shot on goal because the keeper makes a save, right? If the keeper doesn't have to save it, then it's not a shot on goal if it hits the post because it wasn't
I don't know.
going on
I
goal.
feel that a shot that hits the crossbar or the post should count, like on target. At the end of the
Well,
day,
the laws
right?
of the game do not
It's
care how you
hitting the
feel.
target. It's not going in. Fuck the game, bro. You care about my feelings?
That's how it is.
But
It's a
yeah,
cold game, man.
not a great watch to start the match day off
Yeah,
with again non-entertaining match, which apparently,
yeah.
like you said, no shots on target for Verona
For Verona,
against a
yeah.
struggling
Pizza.
pizza,
Yeah,
a
pizza. You
struggling
hungry,
pizza.
man?
Yeah, I'm a little bit hungry. Uh, but yeah, two teams that are struggling, right? Just trying to avoid relegation this season. Not looking good for either of them. Definitely the result in this match doesn't help either team.
Yeah.
Both of them walking away with 1 point, and essentially not making a whole lot of difference when it comes to getting out of the bottom of the Serie A table.
Pisa is gonna feel upset that they didn't get at least 3 points from that one because they had a couple chances in the end. Like in the 80th minute, keeper they hit the post first with a header, then the keeper had made a save, but the shot was going straight at him. And then right after, like 6 minutes after, they went on a 3-on-2, and they messed up the first pass, which would have left like a striker completely by themselves against the keeper. They messed up that pass. Then they get the lucky bounce to the player that was cutting in from the left, and then that guy just basically shot like a water pistol at the goalkeeper. Like it was just like really sad. They could have put that one away and gotten at least 3 vital points, but if Verona or Pisa can't win these matches, man, like they're both going down. Like there's no
Yeah,
way, you know.
yeah. Again, didn't help either team on this one. Fortunately enough, that was followed up by a pretty entertaining
Oh
match.
yeah,
And again, what's becoming one of my favorite teams to follow in the
Napoli,
Serie A
right?
since De Rossi and Genoa. Again, since De Rossi took over Genoa, it's a completely different team with a completely different attitude. They
Hell
were
yeah.
taking on the defending champs, who have been up and down this season, right? Especially some of their key players that are not injured, like McTominay.
Yeah.
Like Scotty has played well in some matches. Some matches he's kind of being Casper the Friendly Ghost, and you don't see him on the pitch.
Yeah,
But
but he
a
does a
pretty
lot of
good
work that
matchup
you
on
don't see though. Like in
true
his
in the
defense,
midfield,
yeah, he
especially
covers a lot of
without
space.
Anguissa, and with some of the players that they're missing, right? He's probably has to do even more in the midfield.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we probably don't see him a lot where we're used to, which is
Yeah,
a little bit further up front,
yeah.
actually, not only creating opportunities, but pulling the ball away for Napoli. He did score on this one, but the first goal came from Genoa.
That was a
Breakaway
clear
play.
penalty. How's the
Yeah,
ref not give that, bro? Like initially, he had to go to VAR, and that penalty was obvious.
yeah, those are the types of calls that it's like, seriously, ref, like,
Yeah. Can you
you needed
imagine, like
VAR
before
for this one.
VAR? I remember before VAR, it was just like a bunch of errors in every game. Like it was just, you know, infuriating and no correction. That was a crazy goal by McTominay, though. He scored from like
Yeah.
half court.
But pen given, right? Malinowski steps up, who's been the go-to for Genoa
Straight
in
down the
taking
middle.
penalty kicks
Yeah.
straight down the middle. Versus last time that he it was a rocket to the right of the goalkeeper. But very calm and cool finish to give Genoa the advantage. Unfortunately, that didn't last long for Genoa because, like you said, Scotty appeared, had a good shot on goal, and then Hoyland, who has been playing very well since making
Yeah.
the move over to Napoli, was in the correct spot, right where he should be, to be in an easy position to put that tap in essentially away for Napoli. But then the one that you were referring to, Scotty McTominay, scored a rocket from quite a bit outside the box.
Yeah.
This was a great finish. The goalkeeper got a hand to it, but at that pace,
That's too.
not a whole lot that
That's
he
too
could do to
hard.
keep that one out.
Yeah, it's too hard. Colombo had
And
a
I think
good goal
Scotty's
after
been
that.
playing better, right? Last
Yeah.
couple of matches, he's kind of looked like his old self, the reigning Serie A MVP, scoring goals, creating chances, especially scoring goals against top clubs as well.
Yeah. Colombo has also been playing pretty well. The Genoa striker, the Argentinian, he's scored again in this game. Pretty strong striker. Like when you look at him physically, he's pretty imposing. Um, he looks like an action figure instead of like a regular striker. It's pretty strong.
But so many mistakes for Napoli lately, defensively, especially with Bongiorno.
Yeah.
Not sure what's going on with him. He had an awesome season last year.
Yeah.
This season, he's struggling. I could probably recall about six or seven errors that he's already made that have caused Napoli not only to concede goals, but also some points, right, and to lose some of the pace that they had going in the Serie A. That's definitely something to keep an eye on. They don't have the best defenders, right? But on paper, right? Juan Jesus, even when he was young and was at Inter, I felt that he didn't have the skills to play at that level. He's kind of proven me wrong because he's been solid at Napoli. But that back line that their Conte is fielding currently is not working out for them.
Yeah, I mean they're obviously allowing way more goals than you would want them to, and they've been resorting to these last minute goals to pull these games off, and like even in this one, it's a penalty in the 95th minute, a
And it was
penalty that
this
was
one
like
was a
very
ridiculous
soft
pen.
penalty, like
Yeah,
very
it was like
soft, like grazing the
tap
shoe.
on the big toe, and that was
Yeah,
it.
and
This
the
was one
guy
of the
went down like they
weaker
had shot
pens.
him from the rafters, like somebody's like a sniper shot. He was like, "Yeah, oh my God, they killed me."
Yeah,
And the ref went
this is
back to
definitely one of the
VAR,
weakest pens that
and
I've
he
seen
went to
given so
VAR
far
and he
this
checked
season.
it and he gave it. That's the thing. So I mean,
Yeah,
that's
I think the other piece, right, because he did have the hand around his waist, but I don't, usually you wouldn't
man,
call that by itself.
at
I don't
that
know.
time of the game, I
Maybe it
wouldn't have
was the
given that.
addition on stepping on his toe plus having the arm around his waist,
Maybe
because
too much
both by themselves they shouldn't be given a foul, especially
in the
when you have a
94th, man. Like that's
tied match in the 94th minute, right? For a Genoa that, again, Genoa's always seem to draw the short straw. They're competing against the best teams and top teams in Serie A, but it's always a late drama that ends up costing them not only points, but some wins, because I think they've been playing amazing
yeah.
with De Rossi, which if you haven't been paying attention and just see the results, you may think they're struggling, but they've been playing amazing football since De Rossi took over. I hope that their luck does turn around and they start getting some of that fortune turning their way in future matches, because I think they deserved it. They
Yeah.
deserve it, and I want to continue to see De Rossi be able to grow with this team, and hopefully they back him up and bring in some good signings for him to continue to develop and continue to build the squad up.
Yeah, the first thing is for them to stay up, right? And then the second thing is, can they keep the talent they have now and then bring in whatever pieces they're missing? Because the big problem with teams like Genoa is that anytime any player in Genoa shines, starts looking good, here comes like one of the bigger teams and takes them away. That's typically how it goes for them. So it's
And even worse, right? The fact that it wasn't a good pen at all by Hoyland.
oh yeah, the
Right?
goalkeeper, the
The
goalkeeper touched
goalkeeper
that.
should have had that one and did get a hand on it, but
Yeah,
wasn't enough to keep it from going in.
yeah.
But
Which
he should have
you gotta
definitely
give credit to the
he
striker.
should have
He
saved that.
he hit it hard enough. Like 'cause sometimes, if you
I
hit it a
don't
little
know.
bit
For me, that was
softer,
kind of soft. If you compare
no,
it like
bro.
with
If the goalkeeper
Malinowski's
touched it,
penalty from
well,
earlier in the game.
anything soft if you compare it to Malinowski, that guy shoots a rocket like every time. So I mean, I think if you gotta hit it hard for a Serie A goalkeeper to touch that ball and the ball to still go straight back, because the ball is not like it went sideways. It's like almost like it went through the hand, you know.
Oh, well, depending on the keeper, but
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that the Genoa keeper, regrets that one, because he should have had it just based on where the shot
Yeah, it looked like he
went in.
almost did.
It wasn't close to the post, right? He
No.
guessed the side right.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he reacted a little bit late,
Yeah, it was
but
under him. That's why it's difficult because you always jump like stretched out,
yeah,
assuming the ball's
and it's
gonna go to
awkward,
the
right?
corner,
Yeah, it's
and then
awkward
he
to
had
not
the
bring the
chicken wing it. He had to go
yeah.
down like that, so that adds a little bit of delay to the hand getting there, and then maybe he got there, but he didn't get a chance to get the hand firm. Because first you get there, and then you're able to kind of like make it stiff, right? Because you're moving, so it can't be stiff the whole time. So it's tricky, but I mean, props to both, I guess. The goalkeeper did his best, and then the striker. If Hoyland had hit it a little bit softer, that would have been saved for sure.
But Napoli, the defending champs, lucky, in my opinion, to walk away with all 3 points
Yeah,
on this
definitely.
one. I was watching it live, and I thought it was gonna definitely end up a draw, but typical Conte fashion, dramatic fashion. Even without Anguissa, who's usually one of the players that bails them out in these types of situations, they were able to find a way to win
Yeah,
and
they need him
walk
back.
away with all 3 points.
They need him back badly.
And then we had Fiorentina and Torino, a 2-2 draw on this one, right? another team that has been very up and down in Torino, and a team that has been struggling a ton this season in Fiorentina. It was an entertaining matchup, right, with some good goals being scored, but result that unfortunately, based on where they stand and how much they're overachieving this season, result that really doesn't help by either squad, I feel.
Yeah, I think Torino will be less upset with it, I feel. Um, Also because they were able to rescue it on the 94th minute again with Maripan's goal. But Fiorentina basically went down initially, right? But then they scored two goals in a matter of 8 minutes in the start of the second half. And then after that, they were basically in control for the rest of the second half until that goal at the end. Uh, Fiorentina will be upset that they lost that they lost 2 points after being ahead for so long. It's got to be frustrating for them because they desperately need wins. A point helps, but not really that much, right? They're trying to get out of the relegation zone, so feel bad for them, but they need to defend
And they
better.
they created a ton of chances. I know Moise Kean had a couple where you would expect a player of his
Yeah,
quality to easily put away in this one. So yeah, definitely walked away kicking themselves after this one. They should have, at least they were the favorites to walk away with the win on this one. But
yeah,
some good goal score. Why Solomon's goal was a pretty good goal for Fiorentina.
yeah.
Good
Nice
again.
shot.
Good to see. Even the Moise Kean finish when he did score the second goal for Fiorentina was a great finish. Right, first time finish.
Yeah,
Um, to the left and
solid.
very close to the post. Good to see him, right? At least getting goals, even though his team has been really struggling. And crazy to imagine that they have somebody like De Gea in between the posts, who has made some great saves, and so things probably could be worse for Fiorentina. It would be interesting to see what happens with him if Fiorentina end up getting relegated to Serie B. I think De Gea is still a very, very
Yeah.
solid goalkeeper and would be a good pickup for teams like Inter, for example, that are kind of still pondering who's going to be the ideal replacement for Summer
But you've been
when he
saying
does
that they
eventually
should
step
look in
aside.
Italy. Like, why would they pick De Gea? I mean, I
Oh,
know he plays in the Serie
technically
A,
he is
but
in Italy,
yeah,
technically.
but yeah, should get an
I mean, it
Italian.
depends on the options that are available, dude. Like, I would love
We'll
Carnesecchi,
give
right? I
you
would
Di
love to bring.
Gregorio. We'll take Carnesecchi. I
No,
think
no,
that's
no.
what's gonna happen.
Vicario, which has been in conversation a ton. I would love to have Vicario
He makes
come
too
back
much
to the
money
Serie A.
already.
That's the thing that you go to the Premiership, right? You get accustomed to that salary that they get over there. Maybe not as easy to come back over here unless you're really homesick.
Yep.
Same for like players like Tonali, right? Tonali will love to have him playing either still at Milan or for another top club in the Serie A, right? One of the best, if not the best midfielder in Italy at the moment. And
In terms of quality,
unfortunately,
yeah,
he's at
definitely.
Newcastle,
Yeah,
which he
and
has been playing awesome for Newcastle, but would love to see him in the Serie A, right? We want to see top Italian talent, young talent get developed in Italy and not be loaned out and disappear and get lost in the shuffle. And the really talented players actually stick it out and remain in Serie A as well.
yeah, I mean, that would be ideal, right? But it's hard to bring them back sometimes. I feel like Juve had been trying to bring Tonali back for a long time, but it's just his salary is ridiculous. Not affordable to Italian clubs. So we probably have to wait till he
Let,
starts waning, and then maybe we can bring him back. We'll see.
let's see what happens. Then we had a Bologna versus Parma.
Parma. Yep.
1-0 victory on
Another
this one for Parma.
94th minute goal, bro. Like, what the hell was going
Yeah,
on in this match
drama,
day?
drama, and one red card for each team as well. Both teams finishing the match with 10 players. But yeah, another dramatic late goal on this one,
Wow,
which
bro.
was
Like, I'm just gonna say this crazy thing. I was just going down all of the results right now, just for curiosity. Every single match every single match except Roma Cagliari had goals scored in the last 2 minutes plus overtime. Every single match had a goal either on the
That's
90th.
crazy.
That is insane. Holy
That
crap.
is pretty crazy.
That's a crazy stat. You heard it here first and only. Anyway, sorry. Carry on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but very interesting. And again, right, I don't know, the nightmare kind of continues for Bologna. Right, they lost again today in the Coppa Italia, which we'll talk about a little bit later.
Yeah.
But again, a team that we thought had figured it out, and as of late, they got rid of some of their key players. Right, they're definitely having some issue with having like the managers sub out like the entire lines in the middle of the match. All of a sudden, doing hockey subs. There's definitely something funky going on in Bologna, and it's showing in the results. They have been really struggling lately.
Yeah, that's true. They've dropped a lot of points in the last couple of weeks, right? And they've seen their standing go from, 6, 7, 8. They were around there. They're now sitting in 10th, 2 points behind Udinese, who have had a roller coaster of a season too. But yeah, they're like 7 points off. Actually, 11 points off of European places right now.
Which obviously that's not what any of us expected from Bologna
No,
after the last couple of seasons that they had.
exactly.
And with some of their younger players getting more experience under the belt. One of the bright spots, the few bright spots for Bologna is Santi Castro got on the score sheet again for them, I believe, who scored the goal. If I'm not confusing this one with
Ordonez.
the other
No,
matchup,
no, no.
Ordonez,
For
sorry.
Bologna, nobody scored. It was Ordonez for
No,
Parma
sorry,
in this match day.
for
Yeah,
sorry, yes. Santi Castro, I apologize. Santi Castro actually scored today
in
in
the
the
cup
Coppa
match.
Italia
Yeah,
match for Bologna. You are correct. But he's a player that at least one of the few bright spots for Bologna lately that has been playing well.
mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up moving elsewhere at the end of this season either, unfortunately, for Bologna.
That would be sad, but
Especially if they
likely.
continue playing the way that they are, I can easily see that happen.
Yeah, agreed.
Then we had another battle of the mid to lower table with Lecce and Udinese. Surprisingly, on this one, Lecce getting the 2-1 victory. Definitely was favoring Udinese in this particular matchup. And Udinese did get things started with a goal from Malmstrom, from Karlstrom. Pretty nice goal from the side to kick things off for Udinese. Udinese with some good players that I'm keeping my eye on, which I more than likely are going to be making moves to some better clubs and teams moving into next
Yeah,
season. But they have some talented players. Saniolo has been playing well and has been able to keep himself off the injury list for a change, which is good to see because he was just a super. Everybody was super high on him, like as a young prospect, but obviously the injuries have just completely derailed his development.
yeah, it's unfortunate, but at least they have other players like Ata, and
Davis,
Davis
Davis,
is another good
which
player.
again, I feel
Solé
David
is a
has
nice
at
player.
least all of the cast characteristics to be an amazing number nine. Scored a good goal on this one. It was a very good header, a
Yeah,
typical number nine header heading it to the ground. But I feel that's the player that if he can develop with how big and strong and fast he is, he could be a problem for a lot of teams in Serie A or wherever he ends up if he makes the move. But he's one of those players, right, that are fun to watch and it's going to be interesting to see how they continue to develop throughout the season for Udinese. Hopefully, Udinese, I think for them the goal it's what maybe get to a European spot, but that's not going to happen. I believe
and they're not that far off
this
if you look
season,
at like if you look at the standings, right? Like they gotta get sixth place.
but
Uh,
do you feel with the other teams above them that they have a realistic shot of contending for a place in the European tournament?
Listen, man, mathematically it's possible. They got 9 points. They gotta make up 9 points on Como, who do lose from time to time. They're not invincible. Obviously, Como a lot better and a lot more consistent than Udinese. But Udinese can surprise anybody, and they've shown that as well this year. But the problem is the consistency. I think if you look at it from a consistency perspective, the teams ahead of Udinese are Como, Atalanta, and Lazio. Como is way more consistent than the other three. Atalanta would be probably the one that's on the up and up, right? They're a rising team. They're playing consistently better,
Yeah,
even though sometimes they still have dips. Lazio is a roller coaster. You have no idea which Lazio is gonna show up, and then Udinese is the
yeah.
same. So I mean, it's gonna be hard, to your point, to catch up to Como and Atalanta. Lazio more doable, obviously, and they're only 1 point ahead of Udinese, so they can be overtaken. But I don't know. It's interesting. Like Udinese have gotten their stuff together, at least, right, from the beginning of the season, where they were like all over the place.
They had a couple of good results, right? Especially against Inter. But it's been a roller coaster of a season for them. We'd love to see them get it together because, again, I think they have the talent. They're a very physical team.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they just need to find some consistency, right? And just have some of these players like Ata and Davis just continue to grow and develop and get better,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yep.
Then we had a beat down, Sassuolo versus Inter.
Yeah.
Sassuolo with actually a great start on this one. Again, have been playing a lot better since they got some of their key players back in the starting lineup, like Berardi. But it was Kone actually at the beginning of this match who had a great opportunity, and it was Di Marco. Sommer was completely beaten, but it was Di Marco who cleared the ball off the line. The
Saved them.
current Serie A and FC Player of the Month in the Serie A. And it was Di Marco who kicked things off with a corner and assist to Bisek, who climbed the ladder,
Yeah.
looking like
He got up.
Ant, looking like Ant from the Minnesota Timberwolves going up for a lob.
Edwards.
Defender nowhere near him. He didn't even attempt to jump and get up there with Bisek.
Yeah, he got up.
He's been playing awesome as well. He's won the regular starting spot along with Akanji and Bastoni in the defensive line. Glad to see T will give him that trust. He's great offensively as well. Creates a ton of opportunities going forward, which it allows for them to kind of change up and have Bastoni sometimes go up with Di Marco, right? Then you could have Bisek go up sometimes, and Inter do a good job of having their midfielders cover those spaces whenever their defenders go up. Then it
Bro,
was Fede Di Marco again with another amazing assist for El
Marcus.
Ticus,
Mhm.
Marcus Thuram, with a great first time finish from him as well, right in front of the goalkeeper on the first post. But another great cross from Di Marco on this one for the
But
assist.
talk to me about that goal they ruled out for Sassuolo because of the tip of the shoe, bro. Like, isn't that ridiculous? That should have been allowed.
Yeah, that was ridiculous, and they deserved it against Sassuolo.
That's
Was off to a
crazy,
great
bro.
start. They deserved that goal. Obviously, a kind of whiffed scissor kick by Berardi, but they end up putting it in.
Yeah.
I thought it was a legit goal when it
Yeah, bro.
when
Like,
the
that
goal
was.
happened. I thought it was legit,
Even
and you
after
hate to see
VAR,
that.
it's like this, bro. Like the tip
No.
of the fucking toe, bro. That's
Yeah,
not.
listen, they got to make a rule that
The,
in those types of situations they got to give the advantage to the attacking player.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm
Otherwise,
so
they're
sick of that crap,
they're just
and you don't
ruining
even
it.
see the actual image. You just see the AI rendering
Right,
of the
right.
players,
They
which
could
is
put that
also kind of
anywhere.
sketchy.
That's sketchy.
Exactly.
I could move
That's what
that if
I
I
don't like
wanted.
about it either.
I can move that
Like you can
render.
put the replay, have the actual replay, and you can
Yeah,
play it from like
yeah,
17 different
yeah,
angles.
yeah. Show
Just
that.
do that.
Show that. Because
Yeah.
the other thing looks just sketchy as hell, man. Like, I don't know who
But
those
yeah,
brave
they
people
deserve
are.
that goal. And it would have been a great goal for them because it would have been right before the end of the first half,
Yeah.
which probably would have kind of shifted the
Would have
game
been two
around.
one, so it would have been like a different game. But
Game on for
yeah,
sure there. But then moving into the second half. The Capocannoniere currently in the Serie A, Lautaro Martinez scoring on personal goal. Right, it was from a deflection. He controlled the ball with his
Boom.
chest, brought it down
Left foot.
first time left foot kick, and scored pretty easily. Not solid finish for Lautaro. With this goal, he's now third as far as top scorers in for Inter in history,
Yeah.
tied with Altobelli.
That's
So huge
crazy.
for Lautaro. He's actually already in the Inter podium for top three goal scorers, and obviously, I feel he's gonna play with Inter at the very least a couple of more seasons. So he's gonna continue
Hey,
to
he's
get
gonna
some
catch
numbers
up to
and run up
Meazza, you
that tally.
think? Meazza's difficult. Meazza's gonna be
That's a
hard to
tall
catch.
order.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's too many goals.
Lautaro's consistent enough that depending on how many years and
But he's
seasons he
older
plays at
now, yeah.
Inter, yeah, but especially you got to consider with all which is even more impressive from Meazza, considering that now players play in so many different tournaments
Yeah. It's true.
that to think that Meazza scored that amount of
That's
goals
crazy though.
when
That's
that
crazy.
wasn't the case,
Yeah, it's crazy.
it's crazy.
It's
It's
crazy.
crazy. So respect to Meazza and props to Lautaro again for getting to the podium. Well deserved for Toro. He's been nothing but consistent, and his position at Inter has never been in question, and rightfully so. He's been our captain for a while now, leading by example.
Yeah, great
And his
player.
example in this one was scoring a solid goal. And then Nice, one of the players from Inter who actually hadn't scored this season, Akanji, scores a nice header. Good to see him because he's been another key addition, right, and a solid part of the starting defensive lineup for Kibu and Inter this season. He's already going to be the first signing that we do in the next transfer market because we're definitely gonna keep him. He's not going back to City, unfortunately for Pep, and we appreciate it. Keep buying players that you can't give playing time to, so we can continue to buy them at a lower cost that you purchased them initially. We certainly appreciate that. Akanji's been a great addition. Another assist for Fede Di Marco. So he had a hat trick of
Of
assists in
assists.
this one
Yeah.
after being named the player of the month. I thought that I believe he's the player that has created the most goals in Serie A this season, and I think he's up there as far as the top five leagues in Europe. But great to see from Fede Di Marco. I feel like last season was kind of meh compared to the season the one previous to that one. I think he didn't kind of take that next step. Where I feel that now, not only did he get back to the level that he was playing, he's actually being more consistent and being great defensively. Again, he had the equivalent of a goal on this one when he cleared that Kone shot off the
That's
line.
true.
And Tito, finally, Enrique scoring the best actual goal in this
Yeah.
match. Great finish.
Doing
Top
Brazilian
bins.
things finally.
Finally,
You
right?
know?
He's been playing solid again. I think he just needs
Yeah.
more confidence. Hopefully, this
That was
helps
a
him
that was a
build more
rocket.
confidence. Yeah.
That was a rocket. Nice
Great
shot.
control, similar to Lautaro. Great control with his chest. Sassuolo very slow to close down the space. Gave him all the time in the world
Yeah.
to
On the volley too, but that
check
was
the wind
pretty.
speed, right? The
Yeah.
direction of the wind.
Yeah.
But yeah, scored a rocket top bins to the far side of the keeper.
Very
Nothing for the keeper
nice.
to do on that one. 5-0 victory for Inter, taking a
Easy.
8-point lead at the top of the Serie A table, given that Milan and Como
Did
and
not
that
play.
matchup was postponed.
Yeah.
Right, so Milan obviously with one game less, but still, right, it's good for Inter being able to have that buffer, especially with them still being in contention for the Coppa Italia and in the Champions League, right, versus Milan that have already been eliminated from both of those tournaments and can solely focus on the Serie A. Still game on, I feel, when it comes to Milan. I think that some of the other teams, it's going to be very hard to catch up with Inter. I feel that Inter will drop some points whenever they get to
Yeah.
tough
I mean, Napoli's only
schedules,
9
Champions
behind
League.
and no cups, you know, which is, you
But Napoli is injured least. If you tell me that Anguissa will be back
he'll be
very
back
soon,
soon, right?
but
2 week,
when?
like a
He's
week
been
or
out for
something.
a while.
I think he's
And
coming
then
back. Like,
Lukaku's been back, but he's only been subbed in,
he needs to
which
get in
he missed.
shape.
He missed which is very uncommon for Lukaku. Actually, missed his pen in the Coppa Italia shootout,
Yeah,
which he's usually Mister
he's just out of
Consistency
shape.
from the penalty spot. Yeah, that may be the case. He was injured, out of shape, was eating a ton of pasta, maybe not working out as much as he should have.
Yeah,
But I think once he's back, I don't know what's up with De Bruyne as well. Another key player that's out. Anguissa, De Bruyne,
yeah,
Lukaku. I think you start getting some of those players back. They got Neres out as well, who was playing awesome, right? Obviously, Vergara, the new signing, not the new signing, the academy player, has been their saving grace because he's been scoring great goals for Napoli. But yeah, they may still have a shot if they can get healthy. If not, I don't think they'll have enough with the squad that they're fielding now, especially with all the issues defensively that they're having over the past couple of games. I don't think it's going to be enough to catch up to Inter. But I may be mistaken. Let's see what happens. But
it's
another
two
solid
teams that don't have
victory.
any other obligations, is what I'm saying. That's usually an advantage in this league in the long run.
But hey, I want to see again Kibu get a win against the top team. Because listen, okay, you're not only
Hey,
beating
you get a
up,
chance on Sunday.
you're not only beating up on the smaller teams and just wiping the floor with them, but it can't be from one extreme to the other. Then you can have a game against a top level team and then completely shit the bed.
Yeah, it's true. Actually,
So
it's on
to your point,
Saturday, the match
the
against.
Derby d'Italia
Yeah.
coming up on the next match day. So Kibu and Inter will have their shot against a very pissed off Juve coming off of two surprising losses, considering the way that they had been playing on this one. And I think that's a great segue to our next matchup, which was Juve and Lazio.
Yeah.
Surprising result, to say the least, on this one, with it being a 2-2 draw. I definitely thought coming into this one that Juve, the way that they have been playing, scoring, and gelling together, that they were going to walk away with a victory on this one.
Yeah, I mean the way that they actually played, you would have thought they would have walked away with a victory in this one because they completely dominated this game. Lazio basically did nothing in the entire first half until that Cambiaso, not Cambiaso, but Locatelli, just basically fell asleep with the
It's a
ball on
terrible
his own half.
mistake. It's
It's
like,
like, bro,
what are
like
you doing?
get your head in the game. Like you're the captain.
It's like when you're playing FC and all of a sudden, like, it goes idle and you can't
You
move the
can't
player
move.
for
Like
like three
he just
seconds.
he just hanging out with the ball like in front of our goal, like with a player on top of him. You know what I mean? Like what are you doing? Like it's always it's annoying because it's always the same people. It's Cambiaso and Locatelli consistently fucking it up for the rest of the team. It's like everybody's playing perfectly, and they always have to do some stupid shit to make the result go against us. Like Locatelli does it at the end of the first half, and then in the beginning of the second half, they get a breakaway, and Cambiaso, like he's supposed to be marking Isaacsen.
But
Cambiaso not
it was
even close to
unlucky.
him,
That first
bro.
goal was unlucky as well, because I feel if the ball wouldn't have deflected off Bremer,
No, no,
Pedro
but
doesn't
but but
score that
still,
goal.
but the mistake is the reason they have the
True, true,
chance in
right.
the first
What
place.
created the
You
chance
know,
was a
it's
terrible
like you're just
mistake, and
being
Locatelli put
casual
him
with the
asleep.
ball in a game that's still draw at 0. Juve had all the best chances in the beginning, right? They had a header from Bremer that hit the crossbar. Then they scored with Coop Miners, but it was ruled out because Turam was blocking the view, which I understand. That's fair, right? But Juve had all of the chances first half, all of them, and then Locatelli just gives them one goal, and then Cambiaso completely forgets his mark, like the person he's supposed to be marking, and he just runs straight at the goal like it's nobody there. Like it's freaking ridiculous, bro. And then obviously we get a couple goals back, one with McKennie playing center
But
forward as he
but we
does.
gotta say it. That Isaksen goal was a great goal.
I mean, it's a great finish, right? But the
It was a great
build
finish,
up,
but
the build up to the goal
it
itself.
was funny seeing Cambiaso try to like gather speed on that play. He looked so slow compared
That's
to
what I
Isak said.
mean, bro.
It
Like,
was funny.
but you're not supposed to be marking like that. If you have a player like on your outside, you're supposed to have the body on him, or at least be between him and the goal, right? Like you're not supposed to give him a clear run. Like diagonally, you should be between him and the goal somehow, right? Even especially if you know you're a slow poke and you're not gonna be able to catch up is if they throw a ball in space. Cambiaso just not focusing. These two mistakes, the Locatelli mistake and the Cambiaso mistake, they're both the same type of mistake. It's just a lack of concentration. That's all it is.
Yeah, but I think Cambiaso's worse, right? Because after having conceded at the end of the first half, you think you would have like that talk in the halftime,
Right.
come out focused for the second half, and you immediately concede the second goal on another dumb mistake and just falling asleep
Ridiculous. Yeah.
in the defensive line. Yeah, I get it.
And
But
he tried.
who scored for Juve that first goal?
Well, Cambiaso tried to make up for it by putting a perfect cross from the left side on top of McKennie's head. And if you give him that type of pass, McKennie's gonna put it in the back of the net because he's our best player. And I keep saying it. I said it at the beginning of the season. Go check episode 1. I said who the best player at Juve was. It was McKennie the whole freaking time. We still haven't renewed his contract. What the fuck are we doing? That is the question.
Listen, just hope. Which I don't feel that McKennie is one of those type of players that would make a switch to Inter, especially when he's gonna definitely gonna have other suitors. I know Atletico Madrid is already gunning for him,
There's like 5
but
teams after him.
he's definitely the most informed player for Juve right now, hands down. I would say close to him, Turam and Yildiz have
Kalulu.
been awesome as well.
Kalulu.
Kalulu as well. He's had player of the match a couple of times as
Yeah.
well. Some great crosses, some good defending ever since Bremer got
Been
back
really
as
good.
well. But I think McKennie, hands down, right, has been U.S. best player for at least the last 8-9 match days.
Easy. Easy. Easy.
So yeah,
And
you gotta lock that down. You lock
yeah.
down Yildiz,
Yeah.
right? I think that's the next one. All of U.S. focus right now
And
should be on resolving that McKennie
speaking of
situation.
Kalulu, right? Like he got the second goal on the 94th minute because that was the trend
Another one.
in this
Another
in
one.
this match day, right? So he got the tie off
Great
of
goal, by the way. Good
beautiful
header.
cross by Jeremy Boga, which was one of the best signings I feel that you have made this season because it was
Probably what he's
actually
been as productive already as Openda.
he's the type of player that we needed because Spalletti realized if Yildiz doesn't play, I don't have like anybody like him that I can play
No,
in that position. And Boga
or can cross
fits
the ball.
he
'Cause
fits the bill
I can't
perfectly.
remember. I can't remember David or Openda like any good crosses into the box.
Yeah, I mean they always do the little cross on the ground pass, but not get to the corner and cross it in because that's not their style of play anyway, right? And I think that's why they went in the market and got Boga because he can do that. He could take somebody on the dribble, on the outer edge of the box, close to the byline, and he can take somebody on, get to the edge, get deep basically and
Yeah.
cross, right? And then that's what he did. And Kalulu was there perfectly. He's great with his head because he's a natural defender.
Unmarked as well. Kind
And
of
yeah,
the
they
defense fell asleep on that
left
one
him
because he was
alone.
completely alone.
Yeah, but you gotta still gotta put it in because you could be completely alone and that shit could hit the top of your head and go outside like some people do. So, I mean, I
But
was
good pickup, right? I think Jeremy Boga for sure is a good
great
pickup
pickup,
for
great
you.
pickup.
So
I like
it's just a
home
player
too.
that you don't have. Well,
Yeah,
you have, right? It's not, I wouldn't say to the
we have
level of
Yildiz,
Yildiz,
but
but a similar player that can create some problems. And you had Zagrova come in. He had a nice game on
yeah,
this one as
he's
well.
always yeah, he's
Created some good
always
opportunities.
dangerous. He's dangerous. He's productive. He makes the
So
other
gives you a
defense
couple of options, which I think
scared.
is one thing. Inter
Yeah.
are still struggling on the right side, right? I think Chico Conceição is coming back from the derby, so I don't know on the Juventus side. Is there anybody that's going to miss out
No.
on the Derby d'Italia?
No, everybody's good. Actually, yeah. Everybody's gonna be back. So Ildis is gonna be back. Conceição is gonna be back. Uh,
So you guys should be good because we're supposed to be getting
McKenny's
back
playing.
Barella and Shalanoglu, but they've missed out on the last couple of matches for Inter. Lucky enough that to have Zielinski playing the way that he's been playing, right, and some solid replacements. Sucic as well has been a great signing for Inter this season, along with
Yeah,
Akanji. And again, glad to see Luis Enrique starting. Looks like he was giving him confidence, but we don't have Dumfries back yet. I heard the announcement that he's back training with the team, but he's certainly not going to be available for the
yeah.
Derby d'Italia.
I think you
So
guys are gonna
you
lose that one, honestly. But I think we're gonna pull out a win because we lost the last match and you guys destroyed Sassuolo. And like you said, like Kivu
Yeah,
has a hard time
we're
with
missing three of
big
three
teams.
players of our starting lineup and three pretty key players,
Yeah.
right, for our starting lineup. Let's see. I think it's gonna be a great match, like it usually is. The
Mm-hmm.
Derby d'Italia has been a match that always delivers. The last
Yeah.
one I feel is still
4-3.
probably the best match so far
It's
in
crazy.
Serie A this season.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much been the best match this season in Serie A.
Certainly the most
So I'm definitely
entertaining.
expecting, knock on wood, expecting some fireworks over the weekend. Hopefully, we don't walk into a freaking like Como Atalanta situation where we were expecting a great match with a ton of goals, and we said it's either going to be that or a snooze fest. And unfortunately for everybody, it ended up being the snooze fest that it was.
Yep.
And speaking of Atalanta,
Yeah. Next
Atalanta played
match.
against Cremonese, which Atalanta have been playing better, right? We have some other pickups like Raspadori, right, who are already contributing to the squad. Cremonese struggling as of late, right? They've dropped points and lost on the last couple of match days. I think the better team out of the teams that were promoted to Serie A, at least the most consistent. Sassuolo now with getting some of their key players back, right, are starting to do a little bit better. But Cremonese, unfortunately for this one, right, they're a little bit on the way down. Atalanta's a little bit on the way up. With not only Raspadori, but I think Samardzic has been playing awesome for them as well, which I was surprised that he hasn't been more of a kind of an influencer on this team since joining. He's kind of faded away into the background, where they gave him the number 10 for a reason. They believed in him to be the type of player that he's showing in the last couple of matches. Hits the crossbar on this one, unfortunately. Wasn't able to get the goal, but Atalanta able to get another win on this one. That Kristovic finish, pretty good finish. Again, probably the keeper should have had that one, but the way that he brought it down,
He
it
just
was a
went
very
under. Yeah, it went between the
crazy
legs of the
angle.
keeper. Crazy
Kind of a
angle.
crazy angle, but he was able to bring that ball down and then get a shot on goal first time when he brought it down. Well, Kristovic, also a player that has been kind of up and down this season. We've seen some great games for him, and then another one that kind of becomes Casper the Friendly Ghost and just disappears completely in some matches. Kind of shitty weather on this one. You got to say as well. But we saw one of the veterans, David Zapacosta,
That was a good goal by
with a
Zappacosta.
great finish.
He
Yeah, I was
looked
not
like
expecting that.
Zambrota. He looked like Zambrota. He
Yeah,
just cut
when
inside and then
he
left foot.
cut inside, I'm like,
Mm,
what are you doing, bro?
yeah.
Why are you not putting in the cross? But
That was a
great
Zambrota
finish,
goal, bro.
great finish from Zappacosta on that play. Nothing for the goalkeeper to do. That was a solid striker kind of finish
Yeah,
from Zappacosta.
solid. Cremonese got at least one
Again,
of them to pull back, you know, at least.
yeah, but
In what minute? What minute was it? A 94th.
94th. Yeah,
That's actually the
there's
91st or something. The 90th,
yeah, but a running
91st.
theme, right?
Yeah.
A lot of drama happening, right, in tempo di recupero
Yeah, in the late
during this
stages of the
match day.
matches. Yeah, it's crazy. Almost every game had a goal scored in the last, couple minutes.
But good
Insane
for
match day.
Atalanta, right? Atalanta is always one of the most entertaining teams to watch. We want to
Yep.
see them do well. One of the three Italian clubs that are still alive in the Champions League. So want them to do well not only in Serie A but also in the Champions League as well. Same for the other two Italian clubs that we have. Right, right. We root for our club, at least me, in Serie A, and I'll root for my team in Champions League. But if my team's out, I'll root for the flag because I want Italy to do good. It also impacts how many spots we get in future
When are
Champions
the
League
Champions
tournaments.
League
So
playoffs coming back?
I think it's around like a couple of weeks, a month.
Oh yeah, it's the 17th. Galatasaray, Juventus, and Dortmund versus Atalanta are playing that day.
Yeah, and we're
So
playing
next week,
against
that's basically
the
next
Vikings.
next Tuesday, dog. Like the first round of the Champions
Oh
League
shit! I thought
playoffs.
that it was a little bit further out.
No, next
So
Tuesday.
that is going to be interesting. When does Inter play against the Vikings? Because we
Probably
have the
Wednesday.
derby
I'm
coming up.
assuming. Yeah, Wednesday. No, actually, the Tuesday after that. So you play no Wednesday. You play Wednesday. At Bodo Glimt,
Yeah,
like at their
yeah.
field.
But here's where it starts to get interesting also for Kivu, right? Where you have the Derby d'Italia, you have a 8 point, technically 5 point lead on Milan and on the Serie A table. You have a couple of players that are coming back from injury in Çalhanoğlu and Barella, but do you risk it and try to play them against Juve? Do you go with what's been working with you lately and the lineup that you've mainly been leveraging in their absence and then
Yeah.
bring them back fresh for that Champions League matchup? It's going to be interesting to see what
This
Kivu
is
decides to
why
do for
this
this
is
one.
why I was saying that you were gonna win this match. This is why this exactly because of what you're talking about.
That this might
Because
be like a throwaway match for Inter.
yeah,
It's like let's focus on the Champions League. We're
it's not
missing
gonna
key
be
players.
throwaway. It's not gonna be throwaway because it's against Juve, and
It's a
obviously
derby, and
you
yeah,
want
it's
to
a
win the
derby.
derby. But
Yeah,
if you're gonna rest somebody because you're worried about Bodo Glint, if you have somebody who's complaining about muscle strains or
dude, you
pains or
can't sleep
whatever,
on Bolo Glint.
that's what I'm
They
saying.
beat
That's what I'm
Manchester
saying.
City. They tied against Real
You
Madrid.
you want to put that game in the bag. Listen to what I'm saying. You want to put that game in the bag. So it doesn't matter if you lose against Juve because you got 12 points on Juve. You got 8 on Milan, right? Like 8 on Milan. They got a game in hand, that's true. But you got 8 on them right now. If you lose, it'll be 5 if they win. Not a big deal, right? You could get them back. But if you lose against Bodo because you lose half of your players because you played them against Juve and now they're dead, then you're gonna have a tougher time coming back in the return match.
I know that most people are giving it as a fact that Inter are going through, but again, Kivu hasn't beat any top clubs this season. They haven't, in my opinion, gotten rid of like the boogeyman that's been haunting them since the whooping they got from PSG in the last Champions League final. I agree with you that I would definitely favor Juve going into this derby. Right, even though Inter has been playing awesome, they've been getting these results against other level teams at a completely different level than Juve. And with missing some of their
Yeah.
key players and Juve being full force, I think definitely Juve are the favorites going into this matchup, and maybe he will do to like you said, just kind of go with the same squad that he's been using as of now, and then if they are ready to come back, even for this weekend, just save Barella, save Çalhanoğlu, and some of the other players
Yeah.
for the Champions League
That
matchup.
that that's what I would do. And I know Juve is not gonna save any players for Champions League match because they drew against Lazio. We need the points in the Serie A because now our main objective is to get fourth place, right? We like Juve can't afford to lose points in the Serie A. Nobody's expecting us to win the Champions League. Nobody. So you know what I mean? Like if we are gonna take chances or arrest somebody, we could do that in the first match against Galatasaray. But I think Inter has way more ambitions about the Champions League, and it's also
And it
very
also has a
comfortable.
big impact financially
Yeah,
as
but
well. The
they're
further
also
you go
very
along.
comfortably in control of Serie A right now. So I think they can
Yeah.
afford to
I think
take a
Inter's
risk there.
earning like last season from the Champions League alone was like 140 million,
Yeah.
something like that.
If you make it to the final, that is a big booster.
Especially for a team, right, in the Serie A, which, let's face it, you're not talking about the deep pockets that we see owners in the Premiership
Correct.
have with the
Correct.
crazy signings that they make. Liverpool.
Yeah.
Um,
Especially
but
them.
it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the derby. But next match, we had one of who we thought was going to be for sure a title contender this season based on the start
But
they had to the
you
season,
thought.
especially
No, yeah.
defensively.
They still the best
But
defense in the league.
Roma was able to get the win versus Cagliari. Cagliari, who have been struggling a bit, another team that have been very up and down this season, and we've talked about it a ton, right? Roma's main issue is that they have been struggling to find goals. Their defense has been solid, yet another shot out and clean sheet defensively, right? And for their keeper on this one. Great goal from Milan, which again, great pickup for Roma, even
Great
though
brace
they
from Allen.
didn't get what they exactly needed. Right, Milan is definitely contributing a ton to the team. That was an amazing
Yeah.
finish from a good
Great
pass from
finish.
Mancini
Yeah.
as well. But that chip,
Beautiful.
lovely from Milan, and then he doubled up on this one as well. Second goal wasn't as great as the first one. This one was more of a traditional like striker kind of tap in from a good ball into the box.
Yeah. But shows you what he can
But
do, right? He's
yeah,
versatile. He could do.
gets a brace, right. He's still fairly new to the club. Has already solidified a starting spot in their lineup. But they need more, right? We know
Yeah.
that Roma really are struggling up front, and they need that traditional number 9. Even though Milan is going to help out, I don't think that they have enough. Being honest and frank, to contend for the Serie A title this season.
No, they
What are
don't.
your thoughts there?
They don't. I feel like they're gonna be probably fifth behind Juve. I think in the end, just they have an amazing defense,
Behind
but
Milan, you mean Milan,
no
right?
behind Juve. And then Juve is gonna be fourth.
Juve's going
Milan's
to be
gonna be
second.
third. Napoli gonna be no, actually Napoli gonna be third. Milan's gonna be
Yeah,
second.
Napoli
Inter
is going to
gonna
be
be
third.
first. Anyway, my point is, yeah,
So we got the same results. You just have you and I just switched Milan and Juve essentially.
yeah. I don't think Juve are gonna catch up to Milan or anybody if they keep Locatelli in the midfield. I'll say it. He has been playing better under Spalletti, but I still don't trust him because of what you saw against Lazio. Like that's the reason. Like every time he starts playing well and you start feeling a little bit confident that he's gonna turn it around as a player, he goes and does one of his typical things, where you're like, okay, no, this is the same old guy, and we're gonna continue having this problem and wasting points until we get rid of this dude and we get somebody who's better, like Tonali, maybe, you know. But until that happens, then we got to deal with this idiot.
I mean,
And
that would be the ideal
yeah,
replacement, but
yeah,
Tonali, bro, it's gonna take so much money.
yeah. But we can sell like 8 players this during the summer that are
I mean, you
completely
have because that's
useless.
one thing
You
that
know,
you need to do,
yeah,
especially because you keep making signings. At some point,
like
you have
ridiculous
to
signings. We have
clean
like 12
house.
people on loan, like, and they're not playing for us. Like, so, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like, just
eventually you got to clean house, right, and get and recoup some of the money you
yeah,
spend on some of these players that haven't panned out.
yeah, exactly.
Not if you end up losing, imagine losing Vlahovic, McKennie on a free.
Vlahovic, we're gonna lose on a free anyway. That's gonna happen regardless, right?
But
Like,
that's what I'm saying. And then if you may be risking losing McKennie on a free as well,
yeah, that's also a big
these are
possibility
again.
because we still haven't signed him. Like, we should have already, like, that should have already been decided. Like, I don't know what they're waiting, but a lot of sources inside the club say that they're already discussing the renewal, but I won't believe it till I see it signed. You know?
I think again, I think McKennie. I don't see him being one of those players that would make a jump from like Juve to Inter, maybe Milan to play with like Pulisic. But I don't think he's that type of player. I think if he moves anywhere, it's probably going to be to a different league, maybe back to the Premiership with a
Or
different team,
MLS,
not Leeds
or like they give him
this
a
go
shit
around.
ton of
The
money
way
to
that he's
play in the
been playing,
MLS. Like,
no,
he could get
the
like a
way that he,
ridiculous contract in the
yeah, but
MLS.
why, bro? When you're at the peak of your career right now and the best informed player at Juve, are you definitely gonna downgrade and go to the MLS? Why?
Because he's gonna get like a ridiculous amount of money, and he's gonna live in probably playing
I
for
hope,
the LA
I hope
Galaxy,
not, dude.
and he's
I
gonna
hope
be like
not.
on TV, and he's gonna be like
You
in
can do that
LA.
later, bro. He can do
You
that
know,
shit 3, 4 years down the line, easy.
I think so, but this is the time when his contract is expiring, and it's the only time that LA can sign him without paying a transfer fee. So if they don't have to pay a transfer fee, they can just give him like a ridiculous contract. Like, they need a lot of money from a salary perspective. And it's gonna be hard for other teams to compete with that because they got money too. But I don't know. Like you're saying, if he wants to continue playing in the Champions League, he's gonna stay in Europe, which I think he's a competitive dude. Like he doesn't want to leave Juve. I don't think he wants to leave Juve because he would have done. He would have been gone already. You know.
I think his issues are not with you. Where I think he definitely had some issues with Tudor,
Yeah.
right? Or maybe it was the other way around. Maybe Tudor just had some
No, no.
issues with him.
He had
But
issues with Tudor, and he also had issues with the previous management, like the people that were before this group, like Juntoli and them, who definitely wanted to get rid of him, and they have put him. They when Thiago Mota joined, they put McKennie out of the team. He was training separately with all these other players that were leaving the club, and then halfway through that, they brought him back. They're like, no, 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 he's gonna train with us, because they realized they
but
need him.
it shows
You
it's
know.
also confirmation that Juve made the right choices getting rid of some of those folks in Tudor, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like,
Yeah.
listen, you had literally the best player you have right now on your team, and you were thinking about getting rid of him
Right.
and not including him as a part of the project moving forward.
Exactly.
That's fucking crazy.
Exactly. That's how stupid they used to be. And that's how what we had been talking about all along. Like why these people keep doing these ridiculous things. I think since the Agnelli family left, the direction of the team, like it's gone south for Juve, and also since
And
Marotta left.
Marotta, let's
Yeah,
be honest, Marotta,
Marotta
which is
was.
part of why Inter have been on the up and
Yeah,
up
but who
since Marotta
brought who
joined.
brought Marotta? Agnelli brought Marotta. So
Yeah.
it's like that's
So
who
we
brought him.
appreciate you, Juve.
Yeah,
Thank
the
you,
reason Inter is
Marotta.
good right now is because the
The
Penguin left. Because if the Penguin had stayed at Juve, you guys would be the Joker right now.
but Marotta, the experts on free signings,
Yeah, he's great. He's
he
good
has
at
made a
building
big
teams,
difference
bro. He's good
since
at
joining
building
Inter,
teams.
and with like some of the younger players, the Susic and some of the other
Yeah.
players that he's brought on board. I'm still confident with Luis Enrique. And again, we talked about the derby, right? But we have a pretty exciting match day 25 coming up. A couple of other great matches on this one. We got Como
Yeah.
Fiorentina, which should be an interesting one. Granted, Fiorentina struggling, but this should be an interesting matchup. I feel Como obviously have been one of the most consistent teams.
Yeah.
You called it right earlier on the pod this season in Serie A, but we have Lazio, Atalanta, which again,
It's gonna be a
Lazio very
nice
up and
nice
down,
game.
but a very dangerous team because you don't know which Lazio you're gonna get. You
Exactly.
may have an easy match, they may not show up, but they may show up and you may end up going home with a defeat if you're not careful. Obviously, Atalanta I feel have been playing better, and I would favor on this matchup. But that's going to be another interesting match. And I think
Yeah.
the other key matchup in this match day, right, we have Napoli
Napoli
and
Roma.
Roma.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good
Yeah.
game. We'll see. We'll see what
It's going
happens.
to be interesting.
Udinese and Sassuolo is probably gonna be an entertaining match, also. But yeah, but Napoli
True.
Roma is like at the top of the
Napoli
table
Roma,
when
yeah,
those
you have
clashes.
one team struggling with their defensive line, one team struggling up front to score goals. So
Yeah.
hopefully we don't have a very just contested and physical matchup with not a whole lot of goals. Hopefully it's a pretty open, entertaining match on this one. I would think that I would favor Napoli on this one, probably, just because of the fact that Roma, even though Milan got two, got a brace in the last match, still they're still struggling to find goals.
Yeah,
Versus
but
Napoli,
if
that
they can hold Napoli, Napoli's hard to defend against though because their scorers are not like the typical people that you expect scoring. You'll get McTominay shoot from like 10 meters outside the box and score on you. Like that's the thing. Like Napoli are hard to defend against because they have a lot of players that are dangerous. Like Neres, he can take people on. McTominay is a big body when he gets in the box too, so he's hard to kind of defend against. Uh, and
so
it's
interesting if they do if if Napoli do drop some points, right? Because that means that Juve would essentially move up in goal difference, right, to the third spot in the Serie A table. So even more important for you this
Well, they need
derby
to win.
for
Like you
Juve,
need to win for sure, right? Like if they don't win,
regardless,
they're
right? Because
staying
they
down
have
there.
Roma. They're tied with Roma right now, obviously ahead due to goal difference.
Yeah,
But 3 points away from Napoli. So regardless of what happens between that Napoli Roma matchup, if Juve are able to walk away with a victory against Inter, definitely going to put him in a better spot as far as the top of the Serie A
yeah.
table. And again,
Listen,
you
I
you were, I have Juve second, dude. I still feel they can make a run.
I don't think so. But I would be happy if Napoli and Roma draw, and then Juve can get to within a point of Napoli and two above Roma. That would be great. Like I'd prefer that than having Roma win and then have like a three-way tie at 49 points.
Mm.
Because but again, we'll see what goes on. You will have to be Inter first, which is not easy task, right? Even Inter second lines are organized and pretty talented, right? So you have to be
Let's
careful.
see. Let's see if it's gonna be 7-1 or 0-8 for Kibu since taking over against top
Yeah,
clubs.
and considering this
Um,
stuff we talked about earlier, right? Like the overall strategy when you look at the entire calendar, right? Like these managers are not just thinking about this match; they're thinking about the next couple of weeks when they're programming, like who's gonna play, who isn't. So it's not as
that
simple as
that
people
that
think.
dude is gonna play, bro.
Yeah,
That dude.
that dude, you
That
better
dude.
pray
That
that
dude's
he
back
stays
there.
healthy, because right now he's been a catalyst. Him and
Yeah.
Lautaro have just been amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. But Bastoni and Barella, I feel, have dropped a little bit, haven't been as crucial. They need to pick things up. But it's going to be an interesting match day 25, especially with the Derby d'Italia and
Yeah.
Napoli and Roma facing off, right?
Mm-hmm.
Definitely shakes things up a little bit at the top of the Serie A table. Before we wrap things up for today, got to touch real quick on the two Coppa Italia quarterfinal
Oh
matches
yeah.
that we had going on today. We had first off, we had actually yesterday, we had Napoli facing up against Como. 1-1 draw on this one. Como end up taking the win in pens.
Yeah.
Very uncharacteristic things happening on this one. We thought Lukaku missing a pen, which again, usually Mister Consistency when it comes to taking pens for them. Vergara did score uh, a goal on this one again. The youngster has been solid since being inserted into the starting lineup and has pretty much started for Napoli in the last couple of matches that they've played.
Yeah.
But Como able to eke out a victory, a goal from the penalty spot during the game for Baturina, for Como, and again Vergara scoring for Napoli in the 46th minute. Then going directly to pens. That's how it works in the Coppa Italia, right? We don't have extra time. We go directly to a penalty shootout,
Yep.
and in this one, 7-6 on pens for Como. Again, uncharacteristic miss from Lukaku on this one, and yet Napoli and Conte out from another elimination tournament.
That's very typical. Yeah. That's not cups are nice thing. We said it in the last episode, right? Like we said Como had the edge because Napoli had Conte as a coach. Like we said it as a joke, but it's actually is the reality. That's what happens. He just not good at cups. That's it. He always drinks from a glass. What do
Yeah,
we do?
he's the Ibrahimovic when it comes to cups and especially the
Yeah, he
Champions
can't
League.
win.
Can't seem to figure things out
Yeah.
and get a win.
And then
Then we
the
had
the penalty trend continued, right? In the next
yeah,
match,
we had
Bologna and Lazio.
today's game, right, between Bologna and Lazio, which also finished 1-1 and went to pen. Finished
Yeah.
a little bit different when it came to the penalties on this one. Again, Santi Castro, I called it out earlier, scored for Bologna on this one. Again, one of the few bright spots for Bologna. We had Noslin, who has been playing well, especially when coming off the bench for Lazio, getting on the score sheet. And then in the pens, terrible from Bologna. Lazio actually are able to walk away 4-1
Yeah,
in the
Bologna got
penalty
2 out of 5
shootout.
penalties. That's the
Bologna
worst.
did their best impersonation of Inter in
What
their
the
penalty
hell
shootout
was
in the
that, dude?
Supercoppa. I would say that I would still put Inter's display in the Supercoppa Italia just because of the game that it was. I would put that a little bit worse
This is
than this
terrible,
display.
bro.
But yeah, pretty terrible again from Bologna. I don't know what the hell's going on over there. They seem to have figured it out. We're trending in the right direction, and all of a sudden, for the past six, seven
Yeah, and they're
matches,
out.
everything's just been going downhill.
And that's the
Right?
only trophy they could win. Again,
Pretty much.
same thing.
They're
That
done.
same with
As far
Juve.
as expectations of winning anything, getting
Yeah,
anything out from this season, it's done.
done. Same with
And
Juve.
then we
Juve's
have,
out. No more no more trophies. They're
and I
gone.
think right, this sets Inter up fairly nicely. I'm actually happy, even though probably most teams would prefer to play against somebody other than Como. I think based on the last match that we played against
Como thing.
Como,
Yeah, you
and
dominated
how
Como,
Inter
but
look. Obviously, still a dangerous decision, but to be honest, people may not agree, and let me know in the comments if you don't agree. But as an Interista, I would rather play Como than Lazio because Lazio is dangerous because you don't know what to
they
expect
have
from Lazio.
Sarri as a manager who's like a wily fox, and he's dangerous too.
You just don't know which Lazio you're gonna get. We know
Yeah,
what Como we're gonna get. We know the type of style that they play. It doesn't seem to work at the very least in the last match that they played against Inter. They again, like Capello said, it looked like a Serie A team playing against the Primavera team. It
they
was
were
not even
outclassed
close.
completely.
I don't expect it to be as lopsided as that match was. But again, I prefer definitely to go for Inter to go against Lazio, against Como than
Yeah,
Lazio. And then on the
bro. Hold.
other side of the table, Lazio Atalanta, I think I would give the edge to Atalanta right now based on how the teams are playing.
I don't know. It's a back and forth affair. So Sarri's management could have an impact there. Palladino's much younger. What I was gonna say that sucks though is that the first game of the semifinals is on the 4th of March, and then the second game is on the 22nd of April. So it's like
That's
a
crazy. That's
month
crazy.
and a half between those
Yeah,
games.
that's crazy.
What the hell? Like whoever's making the calendars of this league this year was just drunk on something.
Yeah, that's way too much of a gap, right?
Grandpa
For a
needs to lay off the
semifinal.
sambuca, bro. Like what
Listen,
the hell?
yeah, I think the most you can do is 1, maybe 2 weeks in between, but you got to be able to play those matchups fairly back to back, right? At least
Exactly.
1 week after the
Yeah.
other, or again, like 1 week in between. But that's way too much time
That's
in
too
between
much
those
time.
matches.
That sucks.
And it's going to be interesting to see also because right, Como have that match against Milan to make up. They're going to have to figure out when to schedule that matchup for. I don't know if have they actually. Oh, they play on
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
on the
it's
18th,
there.
February 18th.
It's there. It's there. It's already like
Which
midweek.
that's another one to keep our eyes on. Right, some of the obviously Milan second, Como fighting for a European position, playing well.
Yeah.
But that is it for the Serie A Match Day 24 recap. So looking forward to the derby. We'll definitely be back next week to give our thoughts on the derby and some of the other key matchups that we're going to be having in Match Day 25 of the Serie A. We'll certainly tune in for the Coppa Italia semifinals,
That's right.
even though they're so freaking far away from one another, one leg to the other. But we appreciate you guys taking the time. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Tune in for the next one. Marco Jansante, Romano, and Tito Yan, Serie Addicts. We appreciate it. Take it easy.
All
Appreciate.
right.